Howdy. Chipotle here. Chipotle from the Chipotle Cowboy Cooking Show. As you know, we come to you on the World Wide Web from Paramus, New Jersey. It's the only cowboy cooking show in New Jersey on TV, or on the internet TV. They bring me over here to this guy's place to demo stuff, and they want me to talk about mandolin family instruments and octave mandolins. This is an instrument that was just done by this fella, Ed, and we're going to demo that too. It's a true octave mandolin, let us say. Mandolin, let's say it has a 14-inch scale. It's 13 and a half on this, but it's 14 if you think of Collings and Gibsons and stuff. So, right off the bat, I played this in a bluegrass band for a decade. It's in an open G tuning. That's G, D, G, B. When we talk about chords, a chord is 3 notes in the same octave, 3 notes in the same octave. They can only be 11 steps apart, including all the frets. Let's keep that in mind when we're talking chords. Anyway, this has been my instrument for many, many years, probably at least 40 years. It's been in almost all the bars in central and northern Arizona. Not lately. Now, there's an octave mandolin. If you got a 14-inch scale, a true octave mandolin, that would be one playing the same notes, an octave lower, using the same strings, would have a 28-inch scale. That's longer than a mandocello, I believe. Right? So people have kind of improvised the whole idea of the relative scale lengths and names of instruments. The octave mandolin, in many cases, if you look it up, I believe Collings and people like that are making octave mandolins with a 21.5-inch scale, approximately, let's say 21 to 22 inches. Anywhere in there, it's okay. That's what this is. I just finished it. And the only reason that's not being sold or demoed is I'm waiting for a new set of tuners from Stu Mack. These are good tuners. They're original Waverleys or something like that, very old. But the ones on this side were made by mistake and they tighten when you loosen them. Anyway, I finished this, needs some detailing, but I strung it as a true octave mandolin, and within about 20 minutes I removed those strings. In order to make a 22-inch scale, 21-inch scale, perform as it should as a 28-inch scale, the strings are obscenely fat, like 12, and they go wound after that, I believe, but I went to 12 to 18 or 17, and then some fat wound strings. I find the strings obscenely flat, and they still are fat, thick, and they still have to be wound up a lot. It was no fun, and I was fearing for the life of the thing over its. It probably would have held up well, but this is a modified small parlor guitar with a 22-inch scale, probably a Harmony as I remember it. So bottom line is I retuned it to the open G tuning. I made this an open G tuning because for the life of playing the regular mandolin, I wanted a longer, wider neck, and open G would allow me to use lighter gauge strings than the one on the short scale. So anyway, this is an open G. That's, as we say, G, D, G, B. So we got this relationship of 7. We're a little out there. 5, and 4. I don't know about this. There we go. And it's really nice. I'm selling this tuning as an alternate to the Irish bouzouki tuning of the first thing they do is tell you a D chord it's not a major or minor chord, it's just G's and D's. I think this is a superior tuning for this thing plays really well in the key of G, and for the key of D we have a trick that you can rock on this tuning. Now, if we wanted to play a lot of D stuff in the key of D, and we wound this up 2 frets, I guess we can do this. This has been in my head, and I haven't done anything. So playing in the key of D, the door's now wide open. The D minor's great. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're playing an octave mandolin, the Irish octave mandolin has only been around since the 60s. It's 40 years old. It's relatively new. The first thing they did was change the tuning to a quasi-open D that doesn't really make chords to half the time. Basically, if you want to play in G and D, or if you put a capo on here, you're good to go again. I mean, we got the C's covered, the F's covered, A minors, all of them. This is a tuning that if you're playing in open G, you leave this in G. If you want to play a lot in open D, just wind it up to, and you can just, this is sort of an open discussion on octave mandolins and the mandolin family and building instruments of this type. My main question is, if I'm going to put this on reverb to sell, how do I tune it? I'm going to tune it just like this. That's how I'm going to tune it. And refer them to this video, but there'll be a demo of that. The little one's not for sale. And this is what I concluded is if you're going to make an octave mandolin, make it at least 24 inches. This is 24 and a half or 24 and a quarter, I believe. This is a brand new, even as PN1NT something or other. It's all laminate, but one of the things I want to point out is that this is using a pin bridge, and a pin bridge is much more dynamic than the archtop style, I'm sorry, for both volume and richness of tone and other things like that. Anyway, I've converted this. These are nice butterbean style tuners. I had to modify them to get to what you do is you leave take the 6 string tuners off, and you leave the outsides on each side and put 2 in the place of the 1 in the middle, and I've done a great job. Anyway, now it's tuned as a true octave mandolin. That would be G, D, A, and E. And indeed, again, my question is does anyone want to play this thing as a mandolin, as a true octave mandolin? I've seen that lady, the championship lady mandolin jazz type player, and she rocks on one of these, at least the shorter scale. I do have riffs on the mandolin, but the scale length is so long now I can't do it. So I'm looking for input. How do I tune this? Right now, I guess I would tune and ship it like this. And if you want to tune it, let's make sure of this here. Yeah. If you want to tune it as the Irish bouzouki, you take this string and drop it from the E down to a D. That's how Oscar used to play the fiddle. Played it in the open D, because we played in keys of G and D. So I can't demo this very much because I don't play the octave mandolin. Anyway, it's tuned as the true octave mandolin. That would be G, D, A, E. I think if you're a mandolin picker, you'd be real frustrated because it's so far apart that some of the stuff ain't going to work. I'm making this little video to gain some guidance if you have any comments on the best way to tune one of these things. I mean, right now it's a true octave mandolin. If I was to sell it, I'd probably be obliged to tune it this way. I've sold one tuned in an open tuning that was really nice. And I've got a second one coming up that I'm going to sell as an open tuning. So anyway, you can tune it regular, or you can drop this string from the E down to a D, which will let you play easier in the keys of G and D. I watched a demo of a guy, an Irish guy, playing the Irish bouzouki, and he showed me how to make the D chord was this. Yeah, don't touch that string there. For some reason, you don't play that string. And he says, anyway, I looked it up, and in my book it says a D would be, I don't know. And the next thing he says is, it's not a D major, it's not a D minor, it's a D. Well, where I come from, a chord is 3 notes in the same octave. You have to have the harmonic and anyway, there's 3 notes that are needed. Major chord, minor chord, the third's going to be 1 fret flat. What I've been saying for at least the last 20 years is it's impossible to make a true major chord on a mandolin. I don't know, prove me wrong, because of the spread of any 2 strings, you see, within the, anyway. I might as well do something on this since I've gone to the trouble of intonating it. I have a mandolin demo, but I can't get it done because it required me fretting this and playing the 5th and 3rd strings. Well, I'm doing. But it's hard to do. Okay, back to the chicken shack here. This would be, I think, a G. This is one of the Gs. Rings nice. We're evaluating this thing at the same time. So there's a G and a C. I like them. And the other G and C. I will soon be doing a demo of this. I'll cut the strings and look it over one more time. But This video is to just figure out if this is really a good tuning. I'm exploring the world of big mandolins. I'm going to be making a mandocello here. And if anybody has any comments as to alternate tunings, as in open tunings, there's another 4-string tuning that is the same set of string relationships as the 5-string banjo, is the 4 strings up here. And that would be D, G, B, D. Again, the 3 notes of the major chord plus an extra D. The other G was up here. But it's a dynamite tuning that is very melodic. You remove some of your ability to get this growling, because it's gone, that 7 relationship, like you lose that relationship, but it's another dynamite way. I'm going to have to put an instrument together to demonstrate the other tuning, unless I just take a string off a 5-string banjo, which I won't do. Oh, I've got a tenor, but it ain't done yet. Anyway, that's another whole world of being able to tune these things into another way of playing. What I'm advocating is people open up their minds to other ways to tune the octave mandolin. Thank you very much.